an explanation for c meters per second and why when we observe photons we are observing them at the speed of light. C meters per second. C meters per second is the measure of the orbit of the ring tension of a molecule of water. A force grain hydrogen bonding sphere around the molecule of water, creating the H2O effect. It's a 6-group force grain piling model. It has an orbit around the equator, and that's c meters per second. It's a speed, constantly changing vector around the orbit of the water molecule. At the center of the water molecule, there's the scissor arm action from Cliff Peckover's model that he shared, and from which I built the double circles joined together, the ring tension and the bending, how they act together is as if there is a scissor arm lever moving when the ring tension is described around a water molecule. And so the center point does this infinity symbol. So it's infinite velocity because vector is continually changing with momentum. Yeah, so that's a velocity, infinite. It's infinite vector. Light expands with the acceleration. So you can see in the force model you get a velocity on the bottom and an acceleration on the top of the two forces coming together, and that creates a clamping force, and the speed is the overwhelming factor in this entire system of breaking apart universal density. So a water molecule is dilation. So the seed crystal that lies at the center of a water molecule is being stressed by the universe existing and rotating and twisting. There is stress, and the system is over constrained, so it dilates. So the hydrogen bonding energy, the spheres, is actually the energy that's creating the water. The water's being added to all the time. So light expands exponentially relative to its surface area. In the body model, but just between the Earth and the Sun, forget everything else and just see Earth as expanding light. Surface of water emits a bright white light every Planck's constant, every h. We observe the reflection, and the power to observe the reflection is created in each moment because of the dilation that's occurred, because the hydrogen bonding energy, the sphere, is the experience contains the waters, the dilation effect. So that's Reynolds 1885, Reynolds 1902 Reed lecture, and then Reynolds 1903 mathematics for submechanics of the universe, the ether, proven by Victor Leibler in 1906 and now rediscovered by the pirates of physics in 2026. The centre of the Earth, surface of water, emits a bright white light. It expands into a 2 AU sphere around us, at which point there is an inversion in the surface. Each particle has separated, each light fibre has reached a stage where it is now separate. It can't be separate because it must be sharing the centre of bending with a neighbour, and therefore it inverts, breaking, causing a breaking effect, causing the sphere of plasma around us, of light. The heat, meanwhile, is catching up with the light because it's travelling at a velocity, not an acceleration. And so the heat is expanded from the ring tension dot point where the sun is. Heat, velocity. But it's slower than the moment because it's trying to catch up. Because it's rotation. It was rotation that caused it in the first place. The dilation of the hydrogen bonded energy has a twisting force in it, so there's a rotation force there. So that rotation force must work itself out in the rotation of the sun, of the heat, from the single dot point, the magnifying glass dot point, on the equator of the sun that lies at the centre. Around it builds up the heat of the plasma sphere. So you've got light broken, causing mass, heat. The heat and the light combine in the vision of the sun that we see. And so the coronal holes we're seeing are the problems in the heat setup, because the centre where the light's coming from is all fucked up. That's the model. Earth, light, massive 2 AU sphere, sun, tiny dot point, bigger sphere, heat heat comes into the center of the mechanism because it's inside. It's constrained by the orbits of the other ring tensions around it, where the law of the centroid of bending is broken, where the tension is inside the mass. And we see the planets equally as force spheres from the gravitational effect, from the work that's done at the center, the twin-centered shock wave that goes out each moment. The center of bending is shared between rotation and twist. That's the model. That's the future, because that's the truth. Welcome. Okay, c meters per second explained. What have we got? Fade out.